In 50 or 60 years, when the people who are replacing us in these positions are looking back at watches from this time period, what watches are going to embody this era the most? That's very curious to me. I feel CODE 1159 addresses that. It addresses the present and the immediate future. It's of the moment. The goal of CODE 1159 was to introduce a new model that was unapologetically contemporary, something that isn't looking back, but something that is clearly looking ahead. So the idea was to create all of those design codes that are on the pulse of today and on the pulse of tomorrow. And for the name, for the whole concept behind the watch, there was an internal examination and exploration of what the name may be. All employees from around the world were asked to contribute their ideas. Some of the ideas were really cool. Finding that perfect name was still tricky. And then the word code starts to come across. And code is interesting because when you look at how people communicate today, when you look at the contemporary nature of communication itself, so much of it is in code. Between the emojis we use, the abbreviations we use, even the tools we use to communicate are encrypted and coded. This has become commonplace. This was an eccentric form of communication a decade ago, and it's now the absolute standard way of communicating. It's youthful. Not just youthful in terms of age, but also youthful in terms of the mental process about that as well. Then the second part of the name, 1159, it's a little more explanatory, right? That 1 minute before a new day, 1 minute before the future. This is the idea that we wanted to embrace. This is the aesthetic that we wanted to look at. We wanted something that was on the pulse, on the edge, that showcased our traditional techniques in the best way possible, but in a canvas that was highly contemporary. A lot of the discussions that took place and the debates and the intensity, of course much of this was expected, number one, because Audemars Piguet never produces something for everyone. If we produce something for everyone, we produce something for no one. This has always been the nature, to have products that are polarizing. That's okay. That's a good thing. Misunderstanding or not a full understanding or a real detailed, nuanced sense of something that you only see in the digital space, that's okay. That's normal. This happens. This is absolutely all right. Some things really require a little bit more depth and a little bit more investigation. Now, after reviewing the piece in real life and getting the objective reality there, it's okay not to like it. That's fine. You know what? Royal Oak in '72 had the very same reaction. Offshore in '93, also very polarizing. Concept in 2002, very polarizing. Not many people really did not like Concept. Many people would have never imagined it would become its own family. And just last year, the 20th anniversary of the Royal Oak Offshore, you remember, it's very similar. But the clients who it spoke to at a very deep level. There are people out there, both existing clients as well as people whom we don't know yet, who are looking for something. They're looking for an alternative. They're looking for a watch that, as we said before, is unapologetically contemporary. They're looking for something that really balances the state-of-the-art engineering with traditional craft. And that's really what we wanted to push with CODE 1159.